just so you know, this is silly town.
Hello again, silly little freaks. Welcome back to another episode of The Dog and the Frog. How you doing today?
I'm suffering. My allergies are atrocious. So I stopped taking my meds when I was overseas because I didn't really need them as much, and I still haven't unpacked, so they were still packed until today. I'm just dying. I want to poke my eyes out of my head and my nose. Oh my god.
Oof. You get some nasal spray or some shit.
I have some. I try not to use them too much because they're not great for you, but I might need to today. So I will be sneezing.
Just like the regular saline.
Oh no, I don't do that. You mean like the rinse? I can't do that. That's the like the one
Was
that
it the? Oh no.
Oh,
I just get like the what is it, Neomed? Like the same stuff that they use to for piercing cleaner, like that brand. They make like a saline nasal rinse.
Oh, you mean I can't just put the piercing stuff in my nose?
I'm sure you could. It's like sterile saline, but the nozzle on it is specifically designed to go up your nose, so it's better.
I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I could put the stuff in my nose.
Yeah. Good shit, though.
So I'll be sneezing while we chat.
Well,
that's your fair warning.
I'm working on a carbonated water, so we're gonna have sneezing and belching. So
I also took 2 Benadryl, so if I might be high by the time we get halfway through this conversation, because Benadryl used to not affect me at all, and now we all know that it does. So we'll see how that goes.
And for a fun one, either way.
Yeah.
So since we missed it last time while talking adventures in Welshland, I want to hear about the castle show.
Dude, it was one of the coolest things I've ever done. Although I had a little panic attack at the beginning of it.
Oh, that's not great.
No, it's fine. It's just me being dramatic, which is a surprise. I was dramatic about something. I'll tell you. So it was cool because we got to tour the castle before. So it was only I think it was only a 30-minute ride away from where we were. But everybody, I mean this not as a sweeping generalization, but a lot of times when you talk to people from Europe, they think that a couple hours is really the end of the world.
Yeah.
So we were telling my friend's friend, I don't know, boyfriend, whatever they are, and he was like, wow, that's in the middle of nowhere. And Melissa and I are looking, I'm like, it's 30 minutes away. And she's like, doesn't seem like the middle of nowhere. I'm like, it's not. So we take the train and you walk over to the castle, and it's really cool because you can see it as you're walking up. And I think it was fairly intimate. It was maybe wow, my eyes look terrible. It was maybe 1,300 people probably. But you could
tiny.
Yeah, but it was cool because I don't know, it was just so fucking cool. So you could tour the castle before for I don't know, 10 quid or whatever. So it was yeah, we want to walk, and tour means you just walk yourself around the same way with the other ones.
Yeah.
So you pay the 10 quid, but when you walk in, the show was in the courtyard, and it was cool because they have food and a bar or whatever and the stage, but everybody was still setting up, they were still loading out and setting up merch and stuff. And I used to work in the industry, and it gives me anxiety to feel like I am in a space where I should not be before something like that.
So you're going to be in the way.
Yeah, you're basically in the middle of backstage. And even our friend was like, oh, look, there's we've met a couple guys in the band. She wanted to say hi. And I'm like, I'm not saying hi to them right now. They're working. I cannot do that. That gives me anxiety.
Yeah.
And she's like, why are you freaking out? I'm like, because I feel like I'm in the middle of someone's work situation. I shouldn't be here. So I had a mini dramatic panic attack over that. But other than that, we toured the castle. It was pretty cool. It's right on, I don't remember what river, but took a bunch of cool pictures, walked around the whole thing. That was when I said I do not recommend doing this in docks, but I wore them because I knew we were going to be on grass, and I figured if it was muddy, I wanted to be in boots. So we did that, and then I stopped being a fucking weirdo. Here you go.
I'm going to start keeping a tally on that.
There you go. I rate that one an 8. So then I started, then I was normal, but then I was super cranky because it was hot, man. That was the hottest day I was there.
Yeah.
And I wore jeans because I usually wear jeans to shows. So like black boots, black jeans, and I think probably the black tank top that I've worn every single time we've ever recorded before today.
Yeah.
Um, and so then by the time we did get inside and we like got online for merch, and our one friend was like, "Hey, you okay?" And I was like, "No, I'm fucking miserable." He's like, "Oh," and I was like, "I am so sorry. I'm just very hot and my brain is not functioning." Um, but I also think I was like anxious. So then it was fine. We got inside. I was normal. Show was awesome. Um, we went for Glassheart, who played first. So we kind of hung up front. I think we were like one row back from Barricade, two rows back from Barricade for them. And they were sick. They played a new song. We got to hear all the sound checks actually while we were waiting because it's all outside. So that was really cool. And then we went like all the way to the back for the rest of the bands because it was just nice to have some breathing room for once because I'm always crammed in the middle of a pit. So it was Glassheart, Caskets, Casey, and Holding Absence. And the sound was incredible.
I think Casey's the only one I haven't heard of.
You would like Casey. I think they're going to pause for a little bit. But you should listen to them. You would like them. But the sound was incredible.
Yeah.
And so they're all Welsh bands. And I think part of what I really like fell in love with when I started meeting people there and you know, being there is it's like such a super fucking proud culture. So every band before, so I'm already high. Every band before they started like had this whole speech about like the Welsh music scene and like how excited they were to be there and what like a cool like groundbreaking thing it was for them. So you know me, I like all the emotion in any event. So I'm like super emotionally attached to these people I've never met and their like success. I'm like, I'm so proud of all these people that I don't even know because they're so excited for this.
That's so wholesome though.
It was really, really wholesome. It was really cool. Somebody got engaged during Holding Absence. So like Lucas opened up a big circle. And whoever Barry is, congrats Barry. He proposed and got engaged and then they played what's the song? Honeymoon? I don't know. They played a song for them to dance to. It was really, really nice. But it was so cool. And then there was just like a bar and food, and you could just sit in the grass and chill. The porta potties flush, which is wild. Yep, wild.
I didn't know they made those.
Yep, they do, and they're there. They flush. They were clean all fucking night. I made a friend next to one of them. Her name was Laura. And she was like, I love your hair. I'm like, thank you so much. My friend is a hairdresser. And she's like, I'm a hairdresser. And I was like, oh, that's great. She's like, no, I'm not. And I'm like, okay. And she goes, I'm a mortician. Like she whispers it at me. And I'm like, okay. And she goes, some people think that's weird. And I'm like, why is that weird? That's such an important job. Like you have an opportunity to give people a great last experience with their loved ones. And she's like, yeah. I'm so glad I met you, Jen. I'm so glad you're here. That's what I think. I think my job's so important. And then she was like squeezing me. It was so sweet. So that's wholesome. Cute. Her boyfriend apologized for her. Like, don't apologize for this woman. I love her.
Unless somebody's visibly uncomfortable, don't apologize because we're having a moment. Okay.
No. Also, she was also beautiful. And if she didn't have a boyfriend, I would have fallen in love.
Love that.
She was beautiful. She had like long red hair. That's my love. That's my love
gingers.
Story. That's my love story from that show. Laura by the bathrooms.
Oh. I feel like that's like when you go just like to like a dive bar and you like run into that random person in the bathroom. It's like
that's what it was.
next to the porta potty. Yeah.
That's what it was. It was the ladies' room encounter, except outside on the grass.
Oh, that's awesome though. I was actually looking to see because I'm still just gonna dick around and like try and just find shows, but I was like I've been listening to them, but after discovering that Melody, the middle mini also really likes Glassheart, I've been able to listen to them more because they don't yell at me in the car when I put them on, which is usually what happens when I listen to any of my own music. Because believe it or not, the driver does not control the tunes when there are 3 small children in the
That's reason 6,112. Go on.
Valid. So recent, like after she had to be at work with me the other day, I'm just like, maybe we'll test this because it's just her in the car, so maybe she'll vibe. And I put it on and immediately like jamming the fuck out. So I was like, yes, okay. So I've been able to listen to them a lot more now, and so I was like, I wonder, like, I know they just were like kind of touring or whatever. I'm like, I wonder if there's just off chance. No, not a single show on.
They play like one-off shows because they're all like in other projects too. So I've been, you know, I'm always like, more shows, guys, more shows. But they're just also like an awesome group of dudes. So
yeah, I think it'd be cool to
nice
see them live at some point. I'm sure eventually that will happen for me, but you know,
it'll be good.
I'm kind of trying to fill my itinerary with bands that I know I have very slim chance of seeing at home, especially with where I'm at, without having to travel to like a fucking coast or something. Because yeah, pretty much the only band from over there that I listen to that ever goes anywhere in the Midwest is Shikari. And I was honestly surprised. Over there? Yeah.
You know what's so weird?
From like the St. Albans area.
I'm learning how many bands that I've been listening to for years that I don't actually know where the fuck they're from because I just really don't like. I just really don't. I like listen. I don't know. I guess I just listen, right? Same way that like listening to Sleep Token since 2021 didn't know they wore fucking masks till 2023. Like just thought they were regular.
Yeah.
But I didn't know Shikari was from over there. I also didn't know Caskets was from Wales till they were playing in Wales.
I think the only reason, like, before I learned enough about, like, the band themselves, because they're actually, like, very proud to come from there and, like, where they come from, and they, like, do a lot for, like, on, like, a local level, at least for, like, the local scene, because, like, they're always talking about keeping, like, grassroots venues alive and shit like that, but the slang that they use in their songs is very much, like the phrase, do one, they have a line in their song where they say "yabba dabba do one son," and like I'm like, that's, where does that come from? And that's like that was the moment that I realized that they're not from here. And then I'm like, wow, you write all these songs that sound like it's about bringing down the, you know, U.S. government, but it's actually about bringing down the British government. I love that so much because it works both ways because they're, you know,
Clarity.
Parent and child governments, but
we didn't get that far away. We tried.
Yeah. But no, they're all really cool dudes. I'm so fucking jazzed to see them in, what is it now? 2 months, 2 days for the first time, and then another, like, 2 days later again.
I'm looking at that tour, but I either have a conflict or was like, ooh, I shouldn't add any more shows. I don't remember which one it is, but I still.
Well, it's in October, so I know you're part of October, at least you're gonna be gone, right?
Yeah, but that's new, so I don't know. I don't remember what date it is. I also think I booked the trip in October when I'm supposed to be in court for like a traffic ticket, so I need to figure that out, but I don't care about that. I should send you this band I saw when I was over there last time, Night Lives. They give me Shikari vibes.
Hell yeah.
I think you would like them. I saw them when I saw Continents.
Yes, I'm always down for new music recommendations. That's one of my favorite ways to bond with people. Obviously, that's how we got here.
I don't know how many friends
adjacently,
I have left. I don't know how many friends I have left that I haven't made through music. So
yeah,
I think that's it.
I mean, I feel like that's like the joy of music, though, is the way that it like brings people together. And like you never, I don't know, especially when it's like alternative stuff, because I feel like despite the aesthetic of alternative music and like people that you expect to listen to that, I feel like it pulls people from so many different backgrounds. And it's, I don't know. And that's one of the things I love about the alternative scene as a whole, whether it's like, you know, like soft punk stuff or like pop punk to like all the way into like the heavy deathcore shit.
I don't know, the camaraderie feels higher too, right? Like, because I like pretty much I'll even listen to country, but the vibes at like alt shows are totally different.
Yeah. Like, see, yeah, you would never. I'm sorry, you would never catch me at a country show.
I like Garth Brooks.
Like,
I do.
No,
like
I fuck with anything pre 9/11 country, I fuck with it.
Yeah. That's the thing is, I don't like the new stuff really. Like, I'm not going to like Zach Brown or like Zach Brown. That his name.
I don't know. I call it bootlicker country. That's all I know. I just avoid it at all. Bootlicker country.
Oh, you know who I do like though? Florida Georgia Line is probably also something you wouldn't fuck with, but I like them.
No, I want to, sing about the heartbreak, your dog, your truck, whatever. Start singing about the country. No, we are not patriots in this house. We are running from the cops. We are proper rednecks, thank you. But no, my go-to song at karaoke nights is Boot Scoot and Boogie.
Oh, that's a good one. Mine is Black Velvet.
I feel like anybody who watches the YouTube videos or sees what we look like is going to be so funny to look at me and listen to me say that, because
now I want to see
the first time I did that, the first time I did that, I was literally like fucking spiked belt by docs, just full alt ensemble, and then I get up on stage and they hear that like first twang and everybody in there is like, what the fuck is going on? And then I think it's one of those like autistic things where you like kind of like mimic people's accents when I full into that shit. Like I get the little country twang and like I
listen, a lot of people
it's a sight to see.
I'm ready for it. Next time we hang out, we're going to karaoke.
Hell yes. Yeah, no, I love that shit.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like the vibe is different in the alt scene. Like I've never thought twice about going to like a show in this scene alone. And the only other shows I've really ever, well, now I'll do anything alone, but that's fucking for different reasons. But like the only shows previously that I would go to alone, like in any other scene, were Hanson shows. And that's just because I knew I would make friends, because we're just like a little cult now. It's just all of us that have been hanging together for the last 2+ decades.
Yeah. I think I've always felt so much more comfortable at like alt shows, because like when I first started going to them, I was like fucking 8th grade, little baby punk, going to like the little DIY all ages venues that were in the basement of a fucking gay bar, or like behind a skate shop kind of thing, and like that's how my whole from 8th grade through high school and stuff, and then after that is when I started going to like proper shows. Actually, I think the first band I saw it's not called Sokol anymore, but that used to be such a the most popular fucking alt venue in fucking Omaha. I saw Billy Talent. That was like my very first show. Fucking love Billy Talent.
Throwback.
I love them so much.
That's a throwback. I can't tell you the last time I listened to Billy Talent. Now I know what I'm going to listen to on the drive to game night.
Hell yeah. But they put on a hell of a show, and they were talking shit about I guess they were standing behind some people, like the day before the show or something, like trying to get some coffee or something, and the people who were in front of them just so happened to be talking shit about Canada and like asking like what the fuck is even up there, like nobody knows what's up there, whatever. And so they had this whole rant while like in between songs where they were like, you need to take a fucking look at the beautiful country that borders your own, and like just went the fuck off about how beautiful and wonderful Canada is. And I'm like, respect. Like I don't know shit about Canada, but I love you.
I didn't love Canada. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna give it a couple more shots because I'm emotionally invested in people there. But yeah, my adventures with Canada and the cities themselves were not my favorites.
I'm sure the reasons for going, like you could probably like state parks kind of stuff. Like I'd love to go hiking up there and like see all like the actual like nature and shit, because that's gotta be beautiful. But
all I know is I got positively roasted by the Border Patrol agent on the way in, and I was like, this doesn't really feel like your job, but thank you for this.
Yeah, I don't actually believe the whole Canadians are as nice and polite as
I'll tell you,
everybody talks shit.
I'll tell you that. At least there's one woman that I can promise you I'll never forget her face.
Well, to be fair, that is Border Patrol, and I feel like that comes with the territory. But
God, did she roast the fuck out of me?
I feel like Canadians are nice the same way that people say folks from the Midwest are nice. And by that I mean They are polite until you are out of earshot. They are not kind people.
Well, that's
but
how I feel. Hold on. That was building up.
yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't get to the mute button on that. But like I feel the opposite about the way people talk about people from like the Northeast. Like we're actually friendly and we'll talk to anybody. We just have like a very specific way of expressing ourselves that like I think scares people away. Like when I'm like on socials or in a group and people are like, "Yeah, don't talk to New Yorkers." I'm like, "Fuck you, talk to me. What do you mean don't talk to me?" Like
No,
absolutely
that's what it's the niceness versus kindness thing. Like Midwest people are nice, but they're not kind, and people up there, they're not nice, but they are very kind. Like,
yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that. And they're
yeah,
like,
I've learned my lesson the hard way with that one.
I'm like, listen, just try to talk to one of us. If we don't answer, then it's not a nice one. Move on. But like 80% of us will talk to you about anything.
And we were talking about music stuff, and we just got sidetracked.
I don't even know how that happened.
Oh yeah, Canadians, Billy Talent.
Damn Canadians! Just kidding. Just kidding.
Yeah, I've wanted to see them again. Like since then, haven't seen them. I don't think I've seen them since. Like, there's been a couple times where I was like, "Oh, I should go to Riot Fest because I want to see them," but I just didn't make it.
I probably saw them like at a Bamboozle or something. Like that's probably the one of the. I mean, I've probably seen them at a couple, but I've never just seen Billy Talent before.
Yeah, I know they do a lot of the festival circuits now. I feel like more so than like their own tours, unless it's in Europe. They do a lot of tours in Germany. Like,
so Germany is like very it's very appealing to artists in general. Like it's super artist friendly. Like the cost to tour there is lower. From what I understand and remember, venues are more accommodating, merch cuts are smaller, lower. Sure, I say I'm getting high from the Benadryl, whatever the right word is for they take less from your merch cut.
Well, that makes sense.
That's why like you see a lot of tours pass through Germany because they're just better to artists these days in general. Like I do love to post those memes though, when people are like, "Why isn't so and so coming to my country?" And you have like the meme that's like specifically because they don't like you as a person. Like can't possibly because this is because this is a business and it doesn't make sense financially. It's because they're mad at you.
Yeah. And like that's why I don't get salty when like people that I want to see are like we're gonna hit like Chicago and then Denver or like Chicago, St. Louis, Denver, but nobody comes like here or like Iowa, and I'm like yes, I mean that's valid. Like there's fuck all here, that's why I was so surprised when Enter Shikari's playing fucking Davenport, not even Des Moines, fucking Davenport.
I know that's random.
But I'm just like hell yeah, because I can get my kid to sit in the car for that drive.
It's funny because Melissa and I were like, I've been obviously I'm talking to everybody about moving, so Melissa's over in Wales with me and we're like weighing stuff out and she's like, okay, are you running from anything? And I'm like, no. She's like, are you running to anything? And I'm like, no. And then she's like, okay, going to shows is going to be harder. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I know. I keep thinking about that. Like that's going to be a harder thing. Like not in general, right? It's part of why I like Cardiff is because it's like a super music heavy city in general for like local stuff. But the UK is expensive to tour, so a lot of my current habits in a band comes and I need to see them 6 or 7 times on tour. Like right now, I'm still scanning the Awful Wolf tour schedule. Like, how can I add more in here?
Yeah.
Is going to be harder over there, and I'm like, well, I guess I'll just have to like spend more time with local stuff. I guess like you can find that music. What?
It's never a bad thing.
Yeah, I'll have to fly home for Hanson, but I've already dedicated
You're gonna
my entire life to those.
Fly back here to come visit us anyway. So.
Yeah, well, yeah, but there's Hanson's gonna be the big reason though.
That's fair.
They're like only doing festivals. They just toured with Busted like 2 years ago, but they really only do festivals out here. I think they're in Norway still, actually, right now.
Nice.
But like that's the only thing that she was like, it's gonna be harder to like live the tour life, and I'm like, it's fine, I'll figure it out.
Yeah. And I mean, like, even if it'll probably just be like a little bit less, but you still have like the bigger cities, like you got like the Cardiff and like London and shit at least. So like,
yeah,
it's not that far of a train ride, just a little day trip or whatever.
No,
but
I've got friends in London too. Like,
yeah, that's just a little bit more expensive over there, I guess. But
Yeah, like my friend Rachel that I worked with for 6 years, she's like, you need to come back and stay with me. And I'm like, listen, if I live there, I will be staying with you all the time. You're my closest friend that lives in London. So don't you worry, you get plenty of me. Especially if I need to go to shows. I'm supposed to be at a show tonight actually, but it's not happening, so I can't.
Oh.
Today's my only day off since I've been back. I can't drive to Jersey and back. It's not in the cards.
It happens.
See VRSTY.
Ooh.
We'll have to wait.
The only time I've seen them was before they took the A out of their name.
Did you?
Yeah, my ex-husband played a show with them.
Did he?
Yeah.
Something about never mind.
It's weird shit. Like I remember when you first started talking about it, I was like, that sounds really familiar. I like went to like my Instagram because I'm like, that sounds super familiar. And I'm just like, oh, it's because I follow them because I saw them like fucking 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And I actually might still have the T-shirt from that show somewhere. It was like the turn your pain into art.
Okay. I like that shirt actually. I've seen that one.
I actually think there's technically still a picture of me on Instagram wearing that shirt, but the focus is not on the T-shirt. It's definitely on my underwear.
There you go. I wanted to go because it's also at this like one of these like shitty little Jersey venues where like it's really just like Jersey hardcore and Jersey alt that I haven't been to in years. And then I was gonna go with my friend that I've not seen in forever, who I actually did not even text to tell him I wasn't going, but that's okay because he didn't text me. And we're very bad at keeping plans and very bad at officially canceling them. They just don't happen. But it was also about like going back to that venue was going to be really cool because it's like just a shitty little bar. Like, that's like where all my early shows were like all in like shitty little bars. My cousin was in a couple different hardcore bands in Jersey when I was younger, and that was like how I started. I don't think. Kind of how I started going to shows like that was going to his shows.
It's nice to meet people like that, and then just have that be like, yeah, I'll come support you. And then it's like, oh no, I fucking love this. Like, I'm gonna do this all the time now.
I think I was young enough where it was like, started as kind of like an admiration thing because it was like my cousin on stage writing and performing his own music.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of grew from there. He was like my brother though. My one cousin is like my brother.
That's good shit.
Mm-hmm.
I just fucking love music. Every time I talk about music, now I'm in my feels, like in the best way, because it makes me reflect on like how I really started getting into music and like going into shows and like all the people that I've met and like the bands that I fucking discovered, and like I'm really hopeful about making some friends at these shows while I'm over there, because like I don't know, I want to have more friends when I eventually move. But, like, it's hard to make friends if you don't initially know anybody over there. I don't know. I'm staying hopeful. I know I'm super awkward and stuff, but I'm saying fuck it, because like if I do something weird, then the chances of me ever seeing them again are like so fucking slim. But maybe I'll do something weird and it'll work out, and I'll find another weirdo, and we can just be weirdos together, and it'll be fun.
You'll do something weird, and they'll do something weird. It was I actually met a girl when I went to Continents, and I got on the train, and I didn't even fucking know what stop I was on. My phone was half dead when I got on the train. I was like, good, I'm going to like some other fucking random town in Wales I've never heard of with no battery on my phone. Figure this out. So like we both kind of went for the same seat, and I was like, ooh, but like, can I sit there because my phone's dead? And she's like, yeah, of course. So we both got off at the same random stop, and the show was at Green Rooms in Wales, so it's just like a little like, I guess it's a practice space where they also do shows inside and outside, but it's kind of tucked away in like a quiet little town. So it's like maybe a 5-10 minute walk from the train station. So we're both alone walking down this road, next to each other. Nobody else. Continue to walk in the same direction for like, I don't know, a solid 5 minutes. And then finally I like look at her and I'm like, are you going green rooms? She's like, yeah, are you? And I'm like, yeah. So then we just like stepped a little closer and walked together. And so she's like, I made friends with her there. We followed each other on Instagram. We ended up, we were just at another show together. We were at the Castle show together, actually. Like, she was with a different group, but we saw each other.
Nice.
And she just sent me a message on Instagram yesterday because I said I missed my Welsh cakes. And she was like, send me your address. I have to send you some home away from home because she's sending me Welsh cakes. And I was like, that's so nice. And I literally just met her awkwardly walking next to each other for too long on the same road to the point where I was like,
though.
I was like, well, we're going to end up at the same place, I think. So it'll be less weird if I do this now.
Yeah.
So we're right there. Which was a good idea because we were the first two people there. So
really helped.
Standing there like, oh, we've actually been together for like 40 minutes at this point and haven't said a word. So like sometimes you have to choose which weird thing to do. It would have been weirder if I didn't.
Yeah.
I'm wildly socially awkward. Like I know some people are surprised by that because I'm loud. And I very much like don't give a fuck about most things. That doesn't make me any less socially awkward than somebody else. Like
it's just a different brand of it. Some people get quiet. Some people are just a little bit louder. It's whatever fits you. It's yeah.
I tried to talk to a girl at Starbucks. I saw her in a band shirt that I knew I had. But something about it was one of those black and bleach dye shirts. And I was like, I know what shirt that is. I have that shirt. But there was nothing on it. And I'm like, something's wrong because I know for a fact that this is the shirt because it's my favorite shirt. And I'm staring at her for a solid like 10 minutes before she walks out of Starbucks. And I realize it's because her shirt is inside out. And I'm like, well, now I can't say anything because I've stared at her so long and not said a word that it's weird. But I was right. And I should have just said something.
Yeah.
So I was just openly socially awkward. Like I wanted to talk about the band and the shirt so bad. But then I was like, well, if it's inside out, maybe she doesn't want to talk about it. For hello.
That's honestly a solid tactic.
What? Like to put your shirt on inside out?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. You're gonna approach by any weird guys like, hey, can you name like 5 of their songs?
Somebody was giving the only like we met these 2 guys on the way back from the Castle show that were super, super drunk, but everyone is like over there is really nice when they're drunk too. I haven't met a lot of creepy drunks. So they're walking back with us and they did get annoying after a while. And then I guess when I was in the bathroom, they were giving my one friend a hard time and like making fun of her favorite band.
Oh.
And so I came out and she was like a little on edge and Melissa like made some eyes. And I said to the dude, I was like, hey, why don't you get away? Like, why don't you go give her some space? And so then when they got off, she told me that, and I was like, you should have just looked at, he was like, he was calling them mid, and I was like, you should just ask him to sing you a song that he wrote. If you can't make your own art, don't criticize other people's art like that. Just let people like what they like. But if you do that to me, I'm going to be like, all right, sing me the best song you ever wrote. Like,
fuck, I should have done that. I should have done that with that dude I was talking to who was talking shit.
You should. That's the line. I want everybody to take that line.
His dating profile literally had him like on stage, like it was on stage like playing guitar picture. Absolutely should have asked him to show me his band.
Yeah, which like, bro, respect. But if you're gonna be rude to me about things I like, then
yeah,
I don't know. Show me that you're better. Impress me.
Also, like even if you are better, I don't fucking care. I enjoy them. Even if it's like I moderately enjoy this, like I'm not their biggest fan or anything, but it's like I'm going to defend them because you sound like an asshole. And it's something that I even care about a little bit. So obviously now I'm going to step up and we've got a problem.
Yeah. That was the only
I'm gonna keep that in my back pocket from now on. Thank you.
Yeah, sing you a song. Dance for me, monkey. They were pretty cool before that. I don't know. They got a little bit drunker though. They started talking about like, I don't know. They started talking weird political stuff, and I was like, no, we're not going to do this. First of all, I'm sober. Second of all, you're too drunk. Third of all, no, I get enough of this on the day to day. I just had a good night. That's not what this is for. We had to remind them to get off on their stop. I was like, hey, you live here. You told me this is your stop. You're not coming with us. Get off the train.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to be careful about how much I drink while I'm over there, because I know I'm very much I have one drink too many, and suddenly, you know, the hammer and sickle come out. Uh,
Say more about this. I don't think I
like
saw that.
the communist symbol. That's
Oh.
like
Oh, got it. Okay. Oh, you know what I was picturing? What's the
with the vibrator.
No, what's the thing the
Oh,
Grim Reaper holds? What is
yeah,
that?
that's a scythe.
What is it? That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, it's like the mini version of that.
Okay.
But yeah, same concept. They're both used to cut grain. Uh, um, but yeah, and I know there's a whole lot of stuff going on over there right now, and like I'm a little worried with the at least with one of the shows that I'm going to that it might get a little iffy, because I know how like deathcore dudes can get.
Mm-hmm.
And just, well, at least I know how deathcore dudes here can get, and they're all very like up their own ass. At least if they're of the, you know, the white variety. And I don't stand for that shit. And I can be polite unless I've had just one drink too many,
Mm-hmm.
and then we're gonna have a fucking problem. Because I don't, I'm very much of the opinion that in
see your
like
head.
what?
I want everyone to watch now so they can see your head when you do that.
I'm trying to be cutesy about the fact that I'm going to punch somebody in the throat if they get a little out of pocket.
I'm not going to say the D word because it's already played out, but that's what you.
But yeah, no, because like I'm very much of like, if you're part of like the alt community, there's no room for like bigotry of any kind. Like, I don't care who you are. And so I don't stand for that shit. I really don't want to go to a show and get kicked out, but I'd rather get kicked out for, you know, punching a bigot in the throat than just stand there and not fucking say anything. So,
but like, don't get locked up abroad though.
I'll just extend my stay. I don't know.
There it is.
No, that's the worst way to extend my stay. Jesus Christ.
Jesus. You'll be all right.
So somebody's getting a phone call. Hey.
Just a thing. Sorry.
So listen, Mom. Need you to bail me out of British jail.
I don't know how that works, but we'll figure it out. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't seen any I haven't seen a lot of bad behavior.
Yeah.
But
I'm staying hopeful about it, but I don't know. I always go into things like that because I have seen like the negative side of it, just being in the scene this long in the area that I'm in. And knowing what's going on in the world, just kind of, you know, everybody's on edge with a lot of stuff, and I don't know. I know I'm overthinking a lot of it, but like, I don't know how to not do that, so it's fine.
Well, no, you should. I mean, you probably should. It's me. I'm a little bit more probably naive, being in the scene in Jersey and New York, where like it's always been like anything goes, and it's so rare to. It's not that it's never happened, but it's rare to hear people say anything opposite that over here. So it's not something I would be like stunned. Like, I would probably be like jaw on the floor, not mentally prepared.
Yeah, I feel like New York's probably a lot. Overall, is probably a lot more progressive than the Midwest.
Listen, you can have your titties out in New York, so legally.
Well, fuck.
Come to Pride.
I didn't even get to go to Pride this year.
I actually will never go to the Pride Parade in the city because it's too much for me. Believe it or not, it's too many people, too much socialization. I can't. But I will continue to enjoy watching my friends go and share their content.
Yeah, my district manager was like, I can't wait to see your outfit for this year, and I'm just like, oh, it's not gonna be like it was the last 2 years, because I was planning something different, but then I couldn't get a babysitter, and I'm like, it's like 100-something degrees. I'm not dragging the kids to go do that.
No,
because they happily would have walked with me, but I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. no.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm not gonna get locked up abroad. It'll be fine. I'm just gonna have my drinks and it'll be lovely. I'm excited to see what I happen upon over there though, because like I definitely want to do a lot of music stuff while I'm there, just because I don't really get to go to shows anymore because I'm working and tired and poor
and a mom and
yeah.
live in Nebraska.
Yes.
I'm excited. I mean, I don't mean any shade there. I'm excited to hear about what it's like for you when you can just like wander around like a city area and just pop into different bars, and like one bar will be like karaoke, there'll be like an open mic night, and then another one with like an open bar. No, not an open bar, with a show. The Benadryl is kicking in hard right
Yeah.
now. Because again, that's another thing I forget, that like growing up over here, like that's just what I'm used to. Like if I lived somewhere where I couldn't just go out and every single bar had music playing, like whether it was live music from a band or like karaoke, I'd be like culture shock. Like, what do you mean there's not live music here?
Yeah. And like
Even the
there's
town I'm in, like even where I live right now.
where I live at, I'm literally like a block and a half away from like this strip where it's like a bunch of bars and like restaurants and like all that shit, and like there's at least 3-4 different venues. But one of them is always like super expensive and like just not worth it. The other one is a Grateful Dead themed bar and very much not my vibe. Open mic night there is all right sometimes, but just the energy of the bar in general is just not really my taste. And so like it's, I don't know. And usually they're like paid shows also, and it's like I'd rather just be able to like every once in a while just like walk in somewhere and just like kind of enjoy it. Like I'll happily pay for drinks. Can you hear me now? I can't hear you.
That's because I muted.
Okay. My microphone died. And it wouldn't let me switch it. Yeah, so sorry about that. I did look at where we were at though. So
you got I heard up to you'll happily pay for drinks.
Oh yeah, and like buy merch from the band and stuff, but it's like if I have to pay like $25 to stand in a dive bar that can hold, that should at most hold maybe like 40 people, and there's like 60 people there, and it's just not fun. And that's like the majority of the fucking scene here now, and it sucks because they closed like all the really like cool like DIY all ages venues and shit. And like I wish we had a good all ages venue still, because I'd be taking my kids to shows all the fucking time. But
that would be so cool. That would be like my one reason. That would be my first reason to have kids.
Yeah. That's another reason I'm pumped about the fucking Iowa show with Enter Shikari, is because the venue that they picked is all ages.
Oh, that's right, because you're taking one of them, right?
I'm taking Freya, my oldest. It's gonna be first show. I'm super excited.
What a cool story. What's your first show? Enter Shikari. Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah, no, I actually did do they're doing it's like a charity contest kind of thing, where it's like if you donate, you can like win a chance to get 2 tickets and like 2 shirts and some, I think like either a signed record or a signed CD or something, and like meet the band and stuff. And I'm like, I already have my tickets for the show, but like, why the fuck not? So I did enter that, and I'm just gonna repost my tickets at face value, whatever, if I end up winning. So I'm like we're gonna go anyway, and she's like just absolutely set on being fucking Barricade.
Good for her.
I love it.
Tell her she's got a lifetime of stress coming her way.
Well, honestly, with this band, no stress.
No, like, I just mean in general. I just mean in general. Like, I show up at shows now, and I'm like, I'm just gonna hang in the back, and then it's like, I don't know, 30 minutes in, and I'm like, oh, here I am again.
Yeah. I told her she gets to go though, and she literally went to daycare that day, and I picked him up after work, and she's like, I drew a picture. It's literally a picture of us standing at like the front of the stage with like the band and stuff, and I'm just like, and like she wrote the date that we're going to see them and everything, and I'm like, oh, baby girl. I posted it on Twitter and tagged them and stuff, and somebody from the band saw it, and I'm like, oh, she's gonna love that. And I told her, and I swear to God, she just almost exploded. Like, she's so fucking excited. But all the fans in that particular fandom are super fucking chill and like super respectful and like just my favorite. It's like it's probably one of the few fandoms that I'm actually proud to be a part of because of how amazing everybody is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it's also kind of special, but like kind of weird. Because the reason I know about them is because of my ex-husband. Like he introduced me to them, and like that was like the first show that we went to together. And like every time they released a new album, like we would sit down and like listen together and like all that shit. And so like it was kind of a special thing between us. So I was honestly a little bit worried when I was like, "Hey, can I take Freya to their show?" And he immediately was just like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay, well this, like, we might not get along like ever, but this, I appreciate that you're being decent enough that we can do this, because I feel like it's going to be a nice little extra special thing just because of the history that that band has for like the family that we have or had." But yeah, and then I'm going to drive back out to Denver by myself and go see them again. So
that's cool. See, that's like, I love all art. Like I love books. I love art, the visual art, but like there's something about music for me. It creates experiences that like people then can pass on in this way, right? Like I'm a big fan of the experience in general in life.
yeah.
And so I find it easier to create experiences around music and to share those with people than I do like, yeah, we could go to a museum together, but for me it doesn't hit the same way.
Yeah.
Like,
I'd rather go to a museum by myself.
Yeah. Because also I don't have the pay, like poor Melissa, when we were touring the castle, she reads like every single thing, and I just like need to walk towards whatever thing looks pretty to me or interesting or cool, and maybe I'll go back and read the story, or maybe I'll go like do research on it later. So I'm not the most fun to go to stuff like that because my ADHD is like, I like that, I'm going.
Yeah.
Like Melissa ended up touring the castle by herself before the show because Bree and I were just walking around like, this looks cool, can we see the river, is there a good picture here, all right, we're gonna go sit back down to the grass. And like 15 minutes later Melissa comes out, she's like, I read everything.
Yeah, no,
So
that's the vibe.
I'm so sorry.
Oh.
But
yeah,
I don't know, I'd love to get back into the industry too. I'm trying to explore what that could look like, just like even a little bit, because I don't know, I miss it. I worked for a band and I brought them to CBGB when they played, and I was like their handler at CBGB, like right before they closed. It was one of the last couple shows that was played there. It was sick. I just miss all that stuff.
I think that's part of why I want to get back into photography so much, is because like that's what I wanted to do through like all of high school. Like I was so fucking set on like being a photographer for bands, and like I used to go to like the shows, and I would take my fucking camera into this dark ass basement and like get in everybody's fucking way just to take pictures. And like I wasn't even nobody hired me. I was just going just for the vibes. And like I honestly would love to get back into that again. But it's been so long and I just don't have a portfolio anymore. I'm like, nobody's gonna.
Dude, but it's so funny. So my friend couldn't get a photo pass for the show at the castle, but she was trying to take pictures with her camera from the crowd, but it was too much. She whipped out her little point and shoot, and like,
yeah,
the things you can do with those now compared to probably when you were doing that is fucking astonishing. Like the pictures are gorgeous. So I don't know.
I thought about taking one of those.
I think you should do it.
I am gonna try and make some videos. Because I have my little shitty 90s style fucking like handheld camera, like the video one. And so I want to take that to the shows, because like I can fit that in my purse. And I think I'm gonna try and make some real low quality like grungy vibe videos, and then just like clip bits of them together and like overlay the band's songs like over it or something. I'm like, here you guys go, I made this for you. Hire me.
I made you this 90s vibe.
I can actually take really good pictures, but here's this. It's all I could do. But Yeah, I'm excited about that. I think it'll be fun. But yeah, I'm trying to get back into like at least just building my portfolio. And funny enough, one of the designers that I used to shoot for hit me up recently and was like, "Hey, I'm applying for this like grant thing for like my company. Like I want to include like a photographer on staff when I do this." And I'm like, "Oh." So, that might be my little foot in the door into at least getting back into like being behind the camera. Even though it's not the same as shooting live at all. Like I'd much rather shoot moving people than still models because like concerts and skateboarders are my fucking favorite thing to photograph.
We can't talk about skateboarders today, please.
It's fine.
We can't live in that world today.
It's all right. But just having like a moving target to shoot is so much more fun for me. Because it just, I don't know. I feel like there's so much more feeling in the pictures. I don't know. Plus, it's more of a challenge, and like I like.
Oh yeah.
I used to be so good at that, and like not to suck my own dick or anything, but like I did have a very specific skill set, and shooting moving targets and making them look like really fucking cool was just always my thing for some reason.
That's like our third T-shirt design. Suck your own dick sometimes. We gotta tweak that a little bit, but because people be like, you need to suck your own dick sometimes. It's okay. I'm really, really phenomenal at like 3 or 4 things.
Yeah,
and I will not apologize for my lack of humility when it comes to those 3 or 4 things because I am bad at objectively everything else. So I'm allowed to have those things. So you're allowed to have
what? That's fair. That's fair.
Like, I will literally never apologize. I'm probably the worst when I'm bartending, and people are like, "Oh, how do you do that?" And I'm like, "I'm just good at this. Like, you can't do this. I can." I don't say that to people. I'm lying, but gotta have some things that you just are like, "Yep, I'm the shit at this."
Yeah.
Shooting moving people, especially when I see like the stuff Kayla does and like the stuff Bree does, and I'm like, "How do y'all even get pictures? These lights are too busy distracting me. Never mind figure out how to adjust exposures for this environment." Like, absolutely not.
Yeah. I don't know. It's one of those things. I think some people just have it. And like that's honestly seeing Kiss pictures just is part of the reason that I really wanted to get back into it. It's like after she started dropping those ones after the shows you guys went to, and I was just like, oh, I miss this. That was the spark that just reignited that fucking flame that I had for a fucking decade. Like,
listen, and that was a point and shoot because we were eating afterwards and she was showing me pictures and I was audibly screaming at the table, like, how do you take pictures like this in this environment with this camera? And she's like, I don't know. Like, again, no humility because she knows she's good. So easy. That was a point and shoot. I was stunned. Like, absolutely stunned.
Honestly, hold on. How much? I got 2 weeks. Maybe I find one that I can rent and take with me, because, like, why the fuck not?
Yeah, ask her about it. Ask her, ask Bree.
Yeah. Because, like, I didn't want to drag my Canon over with me.
No, it's a lot.
Yeah. And I'm like, I honestly know that I can do a lot with my phone. But
yeah. I know Kayla rented the one that she took those shots on, so.
Yeah. Actually, I think my mom might have a small one. I want to figure it out. I got 2 weeks to figure it out. Everything else is already dealt with, so.
It sounds like a decision has been made.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Honestly, I think I'm just excited to be alive again because recently, like, I've just had this urge to do all the things that I, like, used to do that I just stopped doing. Like, I started drawing again. Like, Finger sent me a video last night, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna go cry and draw this now, thank you. And I started working on it, and I was like, oh, wait, I fucking miss this. And it's, I don't know, being around you guys has just made me excited to be alive again, and, like, so now I'm gonna start doing all the things that I used to love before I, like, got really depressed and all that shit, so.
Dude, that's the tagline. That's the first shirt. Excited to be alive again.
Hell
I
yeah.
need that like tattooed on my forehead. Immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately. This has been my biggest year of life, that's for sure. Every year they get a little bit bigger, but this year's like, what? Like I'm gonna have been in 5 countries by the end of the year, 6, right? I don't even know.
Hell yeah.
6. Why? No reason. Just want to. I want to and I'm allowed to. That's it.
Fuck
Living
it.
life.
We ball. Yeah.
And on that note,
That's a great place to stop.
it is. I'm sure this will not be our only music episode, but it was nice to talk about mostly music for part of it because that's how we met. So
yeah. Well, this was a good one. Well, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.